What's going on, Internet? Iron Jordan here. So today we got some really nice reveals from Bandai, and I gotta say I am incredibly excited about this. Right now, today we are going to be talking about the expansion set Ultimate Deck. Now, this is a product that is relatively unique because we've seen structure decks in DBS before. We've seen expert decks, we've seen starter decks that are meant to be, separate different things. But this is kind of a new spin on this. This is a product that is a 51 card deck, one of those cards being a leader. All of the cards are in silver foiling, which is the same foiling as set 9, I think. I think that's what set silver foiling was. And it also comes with a booster pack of BT12, which is the new set that comes out in late January. The MSRP of this product is $20, which is pretty good. That is more than most starter decks are, but whenever you look at this product, you see why it is $20. So when we come down here, we get a take a look at the cards, included. And so we've got a bunch of these, and we'll actually highlight them here in a second. We got a bunch of these new cards, which we will talk about on the card list here in a second. We've got some reprints here, most notably being we've got Protector of the People, we've got the Frieza that gives critical, and we've got some topos. When you take a peek at the deck list, you can actually see that Protector of the People, you get two of those. With Frieza, the Imperial Inspiration, you get two of those, and Topo Righteous Aid, you get two of those. Topo is currently right now on the secondary market about $5. The Friezas are about $11, and Protector of the People is about $20. So that is around $70 of reprint value in a 20 card or in a $20 deck that you also get the entire deck with of all the new cards. So this, in my opinion, I'm going to make a pretty bold statement here, but this is the best product Bandai has ever come out with. This is also, in my opinion, the greatest structure deck to ever be printed in the history of any card game. Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, DBS, Panini Dragon Ball Z, doesn't matter what it is, Vanguard, anything. This is the best starter deck, the best structure deck, the best pre-constructed product to ever exist in card games. The value is here, the strength of the cards is here, and the reprints are here. Like reprinting the draft box cards alone, that is how you start to make amends for some of the garbage that is DraftBots 4 and 5. DraftBots 4 and 5 almost single-handedly killed this game. They removed people from the game, people quit, it destroyed the secondary market. But then you release something like this. This is how you make amends, Bandai. Bravo. This is incredible. This is my favorite product to ever exist. And so now that we've been gushing about this for a minute or two, let's go ahead and talk about the new cards that are in this set. Because I think that this deck actually is going to have meta relevance. When you look at these cards, it seems really powerful. Starting with the leader, we have a new Toa leader. Lots of Toa fans in the DBS group. I like Toa. I didn't like the original Toa leader. It didn't really fit my playstyle as more of a control deck. But this seems a little more mid-rangey, tempo, aggressive, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm a really big fan of it. So permanent. Treat Dark Broly cards with original ink cost of 9 or less in your hand, and non-black battle cards with Zeno in their character name, or Zeno in their character name, an original energy cost of 9 or less in your hand as if they had no specified cost, and reduce their energy cost by 1. So first of all, we have that archetype of like the Dark Dragon Ball characters, the infected Zeno or Xeno character. I keep saying Zeno, but it's Xeno. The Xeno characters, like the Frieza and the Broly and stuff, you have an archetypal leader for them now, kind of like AOD's got with Bibidi, right? Auto, when this card attacks, add up to one card from your life to your hand, then draw one card. So we have Self Awakening on the character, and it is an up to. So it's like Gotenks. You don't have to take the life to draw the card, and you'll still get the card draw. Awaken, when you're at 4 or less, untap one, draw one. I obviously would always prefer untap 2, but the rest of the leader is so good, I don't think that matters here. I don't think that will make this leader any less competitive by being an untap one, draw one. On the back, it is Toa and Mechikabura, Dark Conjurer. So it's a Toa and Mechikabura card. It has the same permanent as the front side. Auto, when this card attached, draw one card, and this card gains plus 5,000 power for the turn. So you have a 2,000 power leader, which is insane. We saw the power of 2,000 power leaders back in set 2 with Soul Striker Son Goku. And it continues to be good going in because It essentially is a 2 or 3 card swing for you because whenever you go 15 to 15 on leader, they typically have to pitch a 5K. Now they have to pitch a super combo, or they have to pitch 2 cards to get over your 20K combo to not take the damage. Auto once per turn when one of your Dark Broly cards or non-black battle cards with Xeno, I gotta stop doing that. Xeno in its character name is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill. Draw 1 card. So it has protection for your guys in a pseudo way, where it's your opponent has to decide, do they want to give you that draw or not. It also works on both players' turn. It is a auto once per turn, so it works on both players' turns. Now it is when it's only removed by a skill, and it has to be an opponent's skill, so you can't remove it by yourself, but that's fine. The first start exclusive card that is not the leader is Dark Shinron Tyrannical Savior. Permanent, this card cannot attack. +1, activate main. You may choose one Dark Broly card with an energy cost of 9 or less, or one black, one non-black battle card with Xeno in its character name and an original energy cost of 9 or less in your hand, and or drop area, and place it at the bottom of your deck. If you place a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, draw 1 card. So basically, you take any of the archetypal cards for this from your drop area or your hand and put them at the bottom of your deck. If you chose one from your hand, you get to draw a card. So not true card advantage, but it is filtering on a what is essentially going to be a 1-drop most of the time. It has a -3 auto if your leader card is a Toa card, and you have 4 more energy at the start of your main phase. Choose up to 3 non-black battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and Xeno in their character names, and or Dark Broly cards from your deck and or hand. Then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Sorry, it's not and or for the final effect. But yeah, this just summons a bunch of guys for free if you have 3 markers on this guy, which seems really good. So you can actually do this on turn 3. So this is like a pretty aggressive card. It will sack itself, but you can do this on turn 3 because the main phase happens after your charge phase, and so you can charge. You have 3 energy now, so this happens on turn 3. The auto procs, and you can -3 this thing to play 3 guys for free out of your deck, which is just really good. Next, we have Dark Broly Unbridled Destruction. This is a red 7-drop with Deflect and Unique. It's a 30k. It evolves for 2 onto a Dark Broly with an energy cost of 2 or 6. Permanent, this card is also treated as black in all areas. Auto, if your opponent's life is at 3 or more and there is a card under this card, when this card is played, switch it to active mode. Then your opponent may choose up to 1 battle card each from their hand, battle area, and or drop area, and send them to their warp. If they sent 2 or fewer cards to their warp, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's life, place it in their drop area. You can't play copies of this card for the turn. So there's a little bit of discussion around this card's effect, but the way that I read it is that because it says each 1 battle card each from their hand, so the choosing of the battle cards is optional from each of their areas. However, they can only send up to 1 card from each area. So you are going to have to send a battle card from your hand, drop area, and it's from their battle area as well. Yeah, from their battle area as well. If your opponent does not have a battle card in their drop area, battle area, and their hand, you will discard 1 of their life if they are at 3 or more life, which is really good. Puts them into double strike territory, which is just really, really solid. This card is insane, especially since you can get it out for 2, and you can actually get it out pretty cheap with the next card we're going to talk about, Dark Broly the Shadow Warrior. This is a 2-drop 15k, unique. Activate main, pay 1 if your leader card is black, and you have 3 or more energy. Excuse me. Add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Play up to 1 Dark Broly card with energy cost of 6 or 7 from your deck on top of this card in active mode. Then shuffle your deck. You can't play Dark Broly cards for the turn. So this card's very interesting because it can actually fetch any of the Dark Brolys from set 11, Vermilion Bloodline. However, you won't get like half their effects because you have to have a Dark Broly leader, and this Toa leader is not a Dark Broly leader. So this card, again, you have to have 3 energy, but it seems really, really good just to be able to go, hey man, I'm going to basically crit you for 1 of your life by playing the 7-drop. The 7-drop has Deflect, so it's going to get its effect even if it dies to like, Freezer or anything like that, right? So this card's really good. Next, we have my favorite card in the expansion, Janemba the Shadow Warrior. This is a 2-drop blue card, and it just simply is a 15k counter attack, negate the attack, then play this card. If you negated a leader card's attack with a skill, your opponent can't attack with leader cards for the turn. This card is so big. This is a big middle finger to Gohan, to Reboot Gohan. Lots of people hate Reboot Gohan, myself included. I feel like it makes you play the game differently and not be able to almost ever, execute your strategy when you're playing against Reboot Gohan just because it can kill you out of nowhere on turn one or turn two. And this card kind of just stops that. If you are playing blue or if you're playing this Toa leader, first of all, this Toa leader gets to play it for one mana of any color, one energy of any color, which is insane. And then blue decks get to play it for two energy, so they can always stop it on turn two. They can always stop Gohan on turn two if they're going first, which is awesome. Now, one thing about this card that is important to note is that the counter attack and the part that shuts off the opponent's leader's attack is part of the counter attack. So Sun Gohan Reboot would have to find some way to counter the counter to stop the effect from happening. Even if they play something like Focus Breakthrough while they're at four or less life, they still do not stop the counter from going through. So it still stops the attack and it still stops the leader from attacking for the rest of the turn. So this card is incredibly designed. I love this so much. It gives blue some counterplay to Sun Gohan, which is pretty desperately needed. Now, if only we'd get some other colors to do. Like, this card's totally fine. I think that cards like this existing is good. I know, you guys know that I really don't like floodgates. I don't like cards that just turn off entire turns. However, when it comes to Gohan, he is so oppressive that you have to have something like this. And on top of that, it doesn't negatively affect many other decks. It stops this. It kind of hurts the new SS4 Vegeta, but he's not super meta anyway, so, who cares? Next, we have Frieza the Shadow Warrior. This is a 2-drop 15k with unique. Permanent, when your opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, this card can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode, which is really nice, so you can swing on like 5ks or whatever. Auto, once per turn, if your leader card is a black Demon Realm race card, which Toa is, if this card's attack KOs an opponent's battle card or removes a marker from an opponent's unison card, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So, once per turn, this guy just makes your opponent discard card if they it's going to make your opponent discard a card regardless, because you're swinging into like a 5k or if you're swinging into a unison, they either have to waste a negate on it or you're going to kill that card, or they're going to waste cards in their hand to combo to save the 5k, but why would they do that? This card's really good. It gets around barrier threats and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. So we like that. We like this card a lot. I like it. Next, we have Majin Buu the Shadow Warrior. In my opinion, this is probably the worst card in the expansion of the new cards. I'm not even saying that it's bad. It's just not as good as all the other cards. It is essentially a 3-drop in this deck. It's a 4-drop unique barrier, and it's 20k. Auto once per turn when this card is played. Look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck. Play up to 1 Dark Broly card with an energy cost of 9 or less, and 1 non-black battle card with Xeno in its character name, and an energy cost of 9 or less among them. Shuffle your deck. So you play one guy from the top of your. It says when this card is played, but it's a once per turn, which doesn't make any sense to me. So, and it doesn't turn off the rest of the copy. There's no reason for this thing to be once per turn, I don't think. Auto once per turn, if this card is in rest mode, when your opponent attaches a leader card, they choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them. That effect is incredibly good. I don't understand why the first auto needs to be once per turn unless I'm just missing something, so let me know if I'm just missing something. But this card, like, it doesn't have deflect, so you can just get it bounced by the trunks. So if you're playing this against blue, you have to be very careful. But this does bring out 2 bodies for 3 energy, which is incredibly mana efficient. Like I said, this card's good. I just think it is the worst of all of these cards. Again, I could be wrong, though. Lord Slug, the Shadow Warrior. This is a 2-drop 10k unique blocker, so it's essentially a 1k blocker. Auto pay 1. If your leader card is a black Demon Realm race, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO'd, play up to one Lord Slug Xeno card from with an energy cost of 9 from your deck and shuffle your deck, which we'll get to in just a second. So you play this as a 1-drop blocker, and then it dies, you pay 1, and then you get to play your boss monster, which we'll get to. Next, we have Dark Dragon Balls. Permanent, this card gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas, which I believe means you can run 7 of them if you want to. Although, I think 4 is probably just fine here. Activate main. If your leader card is a black Demon Realm race card. Tongue twister. Look at the top 7 cards from your deck. Add up to 1 Dark Broly card, non-black battle card with Xeno in its character name, or black unison card with 1600 or 16,000 power among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can't activate main skills on copies of this card for the turn. This card should never miss. the second part, like the little caveat at the end where you can't activate it again, is probably why you don't want to run 7 of them, because they'll then just end up being dead in your hand. So I'm sure people will experiment to see how many they really need. I'm thinking like 3 is probably a good number, 3 or 4, because if you can only activate 1 copy per turn, you don't want the game to go to turn 4 maybe, or you don't want the game go to turn 5, so you don't want to draw multiple dead copies of this card. So maybe 3 or 4 is good, but this card's really good. It just searches your entire deck and it finds the piece that you need. You can activate it on turn 0 if you need to. Like, this card's just super good. Yeah, definitely play this card. And finally, we have Lord Slug Unbridled Might. This is a 9-drop 25k with Unique and Blocker. It EX evolves for 2 onto a Lord Slug Zeno with the energy cost of 2, and it has draw a card as part of the cost. Auto once per turn when this card is when this card KOs an opponent's battle card or activates its blocker skill, switch this card to active mode. So you do have a little bit of a gamble here because you can swing this into a battle card and KO it, and then it restands, and then it can block and then restand. It also has an auto when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill. Choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand and up to 1 of their battle cards. Place them in their owner's drop areas. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's unison cards and remove 2 markers from them. So this card is just like pretty good, I think. Like, this card essentially is a 2-drop that just blots a whole bunch, and if they remove it, you punish them for it, kind of like Android 8 does with Son Goku's and Vanilla Ku and stuff like that. I think like this deck is just really good. I think that this could be a potential tier 1, tier 1.5 deck just by looking at some of the cards, and I think that it can't be understated that you are seriously getting so much value from this. I really suggest that you get 2 copies of this deck. Like, $40 is nothing to a card game player. Go ahead and drop the $40 on this. This is just super good. You get more than your value's worth. This is bravo, Bandai. This deck is amazing. It is fun. It is flavorful. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. You can take 2 of these, just smash together to your locals, and probably win a locals. Like, honest to God, like it's that good. But yeah, I think this product's amazing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the video and about the product itself. I'm really hyped for this. This has kind of killed all my hype for set 12, honestly, because I don't see anything too much in set 12 that I really want to play, but I really want to play this deck. And so I'll definitely try to get my hands on this, multiple copies of this. I might try to get like 4 of it if I can, because this is good. Like, I like this a lot. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the video. I'm going to stop rambling, and I'll see you guys in the next one.